I think there are a number of different directions a student can take a major in communication and digital studies, and fortunately it provides a great deal of flexibility.
I think when people hear communication, they think, well, that's just something that I do. But it's actually a skill when you learn how to research your audience. How do you go about doing that? How do you create this type of content in different platforms, and how can you do that to address different audiences?
How do you create a graphic campaign, get in Photoshop, figure out a color scheme, a font scheme, messaging that's really going to communicate that message? How do you edit a little info video, right, that's going to take all these tools and take this maybe complicated message and use a visual format, use a video format to really get that message across?
So I think that's something that is valuable for any person to know as just a fully fledged citizen of the world and of the internet, like just knowing how the stuff works and how you can use it. I think that's a tremendous power that anyone can and should have.
We end up having really well-rounded students that come out of our program that are ready for other kinds of academic work, as well as ready for their professional work.
And I think getting people's, get your foot in the door of this idea of like, we want to improve you as a communicator for your profession. That sort of clicks with people of, this idea of, it'll get me a job, or I can be a leader. But also it's the foundation principles of how we connect with one another, and better understanding that in a more sophisticated way benefits all of us.
I like to give students the ability to practice the skills that they're most interested in. So while I may not be teaching you digital studies in particular, I may be teaching you about pop culture. And so now, instead of writing a traditional paper, maybe you decide you want to do a podcast. Maybe you decide you want to create a website. I want you to create the content in the way that's going to be most valuable to you.
And when you have a communication digital studies degree, that's really appealing to somebody in a workplace, because they know these are students that have those digital studies skills to build upon as a foundation, but they also understand how they can make them a better, more effective communicator, and they have the critical thinking and interaction skills that they need to be successful. And I think that's partly because the major allows students to often develop their own areas of expertise, because a lot of that flexibility within the major.